Millionaire mindset, winner's attitude. Listen to me. Your bank account doesn't define you. The neighborhood you grew up in doesn't define you. The mistakes you made don't define you. The only thing that defines where you're going is your mindset and your attitude. Some of you keep waiting for a miracle, waiting for luck, waiting for someone to come and save you. But let me tell you something, nobody's coming. If you want to change your life, it starts with a decision to think different and act different. A millionaire mindset isn't about money in your pocket, it's about vision in your head. It's about seeing abundance when everybody else sees scarcity. It's about finding opportunity where others see obstacles. And the winner's attitude? That's the fuel. That's the fire. That's what makes you get up at 5 a.m. when everybody else is still sleeping. That's what makes you keep grinding when you're tired, when you're broke, when nobody believes in you. Because here's the truth. If you don't master your mind will master you. And if you don't move with action, your dreams will die in your head. Today is not about motivation. It's about transformation. It's about making a decision. Are you going to think like a millionaire and act like a winner, or are you going to keep living like a victim? The choice is yours, and it starts right now. Rafael's story, from rock bottom to breakthrough. Rafael grew up in a neighborhood where dreams were small and excuses were big. Every day he heard the same words. That's not for you. You weren't born for success. Just get a job, stay quiet, and survive. He worked hard, yes, but his mind was trapped. He complained about everything, the boss, the bills, the government, life itself. Deep down, he believed he was destined for nothing more than struggle. And then it happened. One morning, Rafael walked into work and was told, "We don't need you anymore." Just like that, he was out. No job, no plan, bills piling up. His pride shattered. The looks of disappointment from his family cut deeper than any blade. For weeks, he sank lower and lower. Depression, shame, nights staring at the ceiling asking, "Why me? Why is life so unfair?" But hear me, it was in that very darkness that the switch flipped. Rafael realized something. The real prison wasn't the lack of money. It wasn't the lost job. It wasn't even the judgment from others. The prison was his mindset. That night, standing in the mirror, broken, with nothing but tears in his eyes, he made a decision. From today, I will think like a millionaire and act like a winner, even if I've got nothing in my pockets. I refuse to live like a victim another second. That was the moment of rebirth. Rafael started waking up before sunrise. He read books on money, growth, and mindset when everyone else was scrolling their phones. He wrote down goals when people around him were laughing at him. He said no to toxic friends and yes to discipline. At first, nothing changed on the outside. The bills were still there. The doubts were still loud. But inside, a warrior was waking up. And step by step, brick by brick, thought by thought, action by action, Rafael built a new life. He transformed from a man stuck in excuses to a man driven by purpose. From a victim of circumstance to a creator of opportunity. Listen to me, Rafael didn't just change his bank account. He changed his destiny. And it all started with this truth. You don't need money to think like a millionaire, and you don't need a title to act like a winner. You just need a decision. It all starts in your head. Listen to me. Before you can hold success in your hands, you have to build it in your mind. Before you can touch wealth in your bank account, you've got to see it in your vision. Your external life is nothing more than a reflection of your internal thoughts. Rafael's life only changed the day he stopped thinking like a survivor and started thinking like a builder. That's the shift. See, survivors live day to day, hoping to get by. Builders create. Builders design their future. Builders don't wait for opportunities. They build them with their own hands. Here's the truth. If your mind is stuck in poverty, you can win the lottery today and still end up broke tomorrow. Why? Because money doesn't fix a poor mindset. And if your mind is locked into excuses, you can be given all the tools, all the opportunities, and you'll still find a way to lose. But the opposite is also true. If your mindset is abundant, if you believe there's always a way, if you train your brain to see possibility instead of impossibility, then even if you start with nothing, you'll find a way to win. That's what Rafael discovered. He realized that while his wallet was empty, his mind was powerful. He had been feeding it garbage for years: negativity, complaints, excuses. But when he started feeding it vision, strategy, and faith, everything shifted. He stopped asking, "Why me?" and started asking, "Why not me?" Look, when you think small, you only see problems. The economy is bad. I don't have connections. I don't have time. That's poverty thinking. But when you think big, you see opportunities. You say, the economy is tough? Good, that means innovation wins. I don't have connections? Perfect, I'll build them. I don't have time? Then I'll use my nights and mornings until I create time. A millionaire mindset is not about what you see with your eyes. It's about what you see with your vision. It's about believing in a future so strongly that you act on it before it even exists. But don't miss this. Mindset alone is not enough. You can't just sit on your couch, visualize a better life, and expect it to fall from the sky. No. You have to act. But action without mindset? That's running in circles. You'll burn energy, but you won't move forward. Rafael got this. Once he shifted his mind, his actions had power. He wasn't just working harder, he was working smarter. He wasn't just grinding, he was building. And you, yes, you, need to understand, your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. If you don't master it, it will master you. So how do you start? 1. Control your thoughts. Stop letting negativity rent space in your head. Kick it out. 2. Feed your vision. Read, learn, listen to voices that push you higher. 3. Surround yourself with builders. If everyone around you thinks small, you'll stay small. 4. Talk to yourself differently. Words matter. Stop saying, I can't. Start saying, I will. 5. Decide daily. Mentality isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily choice. Understand this. The battle of success is won or lost in the mind first. You don't lose when you fail. You lose when you give up mentally. You don't win when you get the money. You win the moment you decide to think like a millionaire and act like a winner. Rafael made that decision. And that's why his story flipped. So the question is, what about you? Are you going to keep thinking like a victim? Or are you ready to rewire your brain, sharpen your vision, and step into the mentality of abundance? Because until you master your mind, you'll never master your life. Attitude, the fuel of transformation. Listen to me, mindset is the blueprint, but attitude is the hammer that builds the house. You can think like a millionaire all day, but if your attitude is lazy, if your attitude is weak, if your attitude says, I'll try tomorrow, nothing's gonna change. Rafael learned this the hard way. At first, he was dreaming, planning, writing goals, but he wasn't moving. He thought vision alone would save him. But vision without action is hallucination. You're just fooling yourself. One morning, he looked in the mirror and said, Enough. I don't just want it. I'm willing to work for it. That was the shift. From wanting to working. From wishing to grinding. From excuses to execution. That's attitude. See, winners don't wait for motivation. Winners act when they're tired. Winners move when they're discouraged. Winners keep grinding when the results are invisible. Because they understand, success doesn't come to the most talented. It doesn't come to the most educated. It comes to the one with the strongest attitude toward the grind. Let me be real with you. Talent without attitude is wasted. Intelligence without discipline is useless. A dream without daily execution is a nightmare. Rafael started waking up earlier than everybody else. He studied while others slept. He networked with people who were already where he wanted to be. He didn't just talk about change. He became change. And at first, nobody clapped. Nobody congratulated him. Some even mocked him. Why are you trying so hard? You're not gonna make it. But here's the thing. Rafael wasn't waiting for applause. He was building results. That's attitude. Because the world doesn't respect what you say. The world respects what you do. So hear me, stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Winners don't wait. Winners decide. Winners act. And when you act with consistency, something happens inside of you. Confidence grows. Discipline becomes your habit. Momentum kicks in. Think about it like this. A plane burns the most fuel during takeoff. That's the hardest part, breaking gravity. But once it's in the air, it can soar. Your life is the same. At first, action feels heavy. It feels exhausting. But if you keep your attitude sharp, you'll break through, and suddenly momentum carries you higher than you imagined. But don't get it twisted. Attitude isn't about hype. It's not about shouting louder than everyone else. It's about the choices you make when no one's watching. It's about how you treat the grind when it's boring. It's about the discipline you hold when temptation comes knocking. That's why I tell you, millionaire mindset is the seed, but attitude is the water. Without attitude, your seed dries up and dies. So let me ask you, what's your attitude right now? Do you show up late and leave early? Do you quit when it gets tough? Or do you stay in the fight, day after day, until the breakthrough comes? Rafael chose the latter. He chose to stop making excuses and start making progress. He chose to act like the man he wanted to become, even before he saw the results. And because of that, doors started opening. Opportunities started showing up. People began to respect his grind. That's the power of attitude. So today, I challenge you, check your attitude. If you don't like your life, don't blame the economy, don't blame your boss, don't blame your past. Look at your attitude. Because until you fix that, nothing else changes. Remember this, winners are not defined by what they dream. Winners are defined by what they do. Wealth is not luck, it's strategy. Let's get this straight. Wealth is not a lottery ticket. Success is not a lucky break. Stop waiting for a miracle. Stop hoping somebody will rescue you. That's victim thinking. Winners know the truth. Wealth is built, not wished for. Rafael figured this out the moment he stopped waiting for handouts. At first, he used to pray for luck. He used to think, if only I win something, if only somebody gives me a chance. But listen, opportunities don't fall into your lap when you're sitting on the couch. They show up when you're moving, learning, and preparing. One day, Rafael said to himself, nobody's coming. Nobody's going to save me. If I want wealth, I have to build it. That was his wake-up call. He started treating his life like a business, not a burden. Understand this, wealth is strategy. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about knowing where to put your time, your money, and your energy. Some of you are grinding every day but going nowhere. You're busy but not productive. You're moving but not progressing. Why? Because you don't have a plan. And without a plan, your grind is wasted. Rafael changed his game by studying. He learned about money. He learned how to invest, how to save, how to multiply. He didn't waste hours on nonsense. He invested hours into building knowledge. That's strategy. And here's the truth. The world respects problem solvers, not complainers. Wealth flows to people who bring solutions. The poor mindset says, it's not my fault, life is unfair. The millionaire mindset says, what problem can I solve? What value can I bring? Luck. Luck shows up to the prepared. If you're not ready, even when opportunity knocks, you'll miss it. Think about it like this. A farmer doesn't get a harvest by luck. He gets it because he planted, watered, worked the soil, protected the crop. When the season comes, he reaps. That's not luck. That's strategy plus consistency. Rafael started applying this principle. He didn't wait for the perfect time. He created opportunities. He positioned himself. When people were wasting money on temporary pleasures, he was investing in skills. When people were gossiping, he was learning. When people were sleeping, he was strategizing. And guess what? Doors began to open. Not because he was lucky, but because he was prepared when the doors showed up. Let me be real with you. If you keep waiting on luck, you'll die waiting. Wealth doesn't chase the lazy. Success doesn't reward excuses. Money follows clarity. Money follows vision. Money follows value. So ask yourself, what's your strategy? Are you living day to day, hoping something magical will happen? Or are you mapping your moves, building your foundation, preparing for the breakthrough? Here's the formula Rafael lived by. Mindset plus strategy plus consistent action equals inevitable success. That's it. No shortcuts. No magic. Just clarity, preparation, and relentless execution. Stop saying, one day. Stop saying, if I get lucky. Start saying, today I plan, today I act, today I build. Because wealth doesn't belong to the lucky. Wealth belongs to the prepared. And if you're ready to step up, think strategically, and move with discipline, like Rafael, your life will never look the same again. Winners create, losers copy. Listen to me. If you want to stand out, if you want to rise above average, if you want to break cycles, you cannot live your life as a cheap copy. Winners create, losers copy. That's the difference. Rafael realized this early in his journey. 4 years, he followed the crowd. He dressed like everyone else, thought like everyone else, worked the same job as everyone else, and guess what? He had the same results as everyone else. Broke, frustrated, stuck. But one day, it hit him, if I keep doing what they're doing, I'll keep getting what they're getting. That's when he understood, copying the crowd keeps you average. Creating something different makes you extraordinary. Winners innovate. Winners think differently. Winners step out of the line everyone else is standing in and build their own lane. Losers complain about the system, but still follow it blindly. Losers see someone else succeed and try to imitate the surface, without understanding the discipline behind it. Losers don't ask, what can I build? They ask, who can I copy? But here's the truth, copies fade. Originals last. Rafael decided to stop imitating and start creating. When everybody else in his circle was chasing fast money schemes, he was building long-term skills. When others were wasting nights partying, he was creating ideas, businesses, strategies. And people laughed at him. They said he was crazy. But years later, they were still stuck, and Rafael was soaring. Because here's the thing, winners don't chase trends. They set them. Winners don't copy ideas. They create value. Winners don't wait for permission. They step out and lead. And let me tell you, creating is not easy. It takes courage. It takes vision. It takes the guts to look different, to be misunderstood, to be criticized. That's why most people copy. It's safe. It's comfortable. But safe doesn't change lives. Comfortable doesn't build wealth. You want to win? You've got to be willing to look crazy for a season so you can look legendary for a lifetime. Think about it. Every great innovator was criticized before they were celebrated. Every great leader looked foolish before they looked brilliant. But they kept creating, they kept building, they kept moving. And the world eventually had no choice but to respect them. That's what Rafael tapped into. He wasn't trying to fit in anymore. He was focused on standing out. He was focused on building something that would last. And let me talk to you for a second. If all you're doing is copying, you'll never create freedom. You'll always depend on someone else's vision. You'll always be one step behind. But if you choose to create, if you choose to think, if you choose to innovate, you step into your power. Stop copying. Start creating. Stop following the crowd. Start leading yourself. Because winners are remembered for what they create. Losers are forgotten because all they did was copy. So today, I'm asking you, are you willing to be different? Are you willing to risk looking crazy? Are you willing to stop imitating and start innovating? Because the moment you do, you stop living someone else's story, and you start writing your own. And just like Rafael, that's the day your life will never, ever be the same again. The price of success is sacrifice. Listen to me, everybody wants success, but nobody wants to pay the price. Everybody wants the crown, but few are willing to carry the cross. Success is expensive, and the currency you pay with is sacrifice. Rafael had to learn this the hard way. He wanted change, but at first, he was still clinging to his old habits. He wanted success but didn't want to let go of comfort. And one day, he realized, that's impossible. You can't have transformation without sacrifice. So he started cutting. Toxic friendships? Gone. Late nights wasted on nonsense? Gone. Hours scrolling on his phone, gossiping, chasing distractions? Gone. It hurt. It was lonely. But he understood. Saying no today is saying yes to the future. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. Success is not about what you add to your life. It's about what you subtract. It's about what you're willing to let go of. Because here's the reality. You can't carry old baggage into a new season. Rafael said, if I want a millionaire life, I can't keep living with a broke man's habits. That's sacrifice. Look, success isn't free. You pay for it with sweat, with discipline, with long nights and early mornings. You pay for it by refusing comfort, refusing shortcuts, refusing excuses. But losers don't want that. Losers want the reward without the work. They want the harvest without planting. They want the prize without paying the price. And that's why they stay stuck. Winners understand sacrifice is not punishment. It's investment. It's sowing so you can reap. It's pruning so you can grow. It's losing a little now so you can gain much more later. Think about it. An athlete sacrifices junk food, sleep, comfort. Why? To perform at the highest level. A student sacrifices nights out, distractions, laziness. Why? To graduate and build a future. A dreamer sacrifices temporary pleasure. Why? To create permanent freedom. Rafael embraced this truth. While his friends were laughing at him for staying home to work, he kept grinding. While others mocked him for reading and learning instead of partying, he stayed focused. And years later, the same people who laughed were asking him for advice. That's the power of sacrifice. But let me warn you, sacrifice is not just about cutting things out. It's about staying committed when it hurts. It's about choosing discipline when your feelings scream for comfort. It's about saying, I don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway. Sacrifice is waking up at 5 a.m. when your body wants to sleep. Sacrifice is saying no to that quick pleasure because you're chasing a bigger purpose. Sacrifice is refusing to sell your soul for temporary gain because your integrity is worth more than money. And here's the truth. If you're not willing to sacrifice for your dream will become the sacrifice. So I'm asking you, what are you willing to give up? What comfort, what habit, what distraction is standing between you and your breakthrough? Rafael gave up his comfort zone, and in exchange, he gained freedom. He gave up toxic relationships, and in exchange, he gained networks of winners. He gave up excuses, and in exchange, he gained results. That's the trade. That's the cost. That's the price of success. And if you're not willing to pay it, don't expect to hold it. Remember this, success doesn't come cheap. But the life you want, the freedom, the abundance, the legacy, it's worth every sacrifice. The legacy of a millionaire mindset. Listen to me. A millionaire mindset and a winner's attitude are not just about you. It's not just about your bills, your car, your house, your comfort. No. It's about legacy. It's about who you become and what you leave behind when you're gone. When Rafael looked back at his journey, he realized something powerful. All the pain, all the sleepless nights, all the sacrifices, it wasn't just to fill his pockets. It was to change his bloodline. It was to show his kids, his community, his people that it was possible to rise above the limits, break the curse of poverty, and live with purpose. That's the real win. Not just success, but significance. See, anybody can chase money. Anybody can grind for a new car, a bigger house, a fancier life. But when you live with a millionaire mindset, your grind is bigger than that. You're not chasing things, you're chasing impact. You're asking, who gets better because I didn't quit? Who rises because I kept fighting? Who dares to dream because I refused to settle? That's legacy. Let me tell you something. When you die, nobody's going to remember the brand of clothes you wore. Nobody's going to remember what kind of car you drove. But they will remember the fire you carried. They will remember the way you spoke life into them. They will remember the sacrifices you made, the example you set, the way you turned your pain into power. That's what lasts. That's what echoes. But listen closely. You don't build legacy overnight. Legacy is built every single day in the small decisions. When you choose discipline over laziness, vision over excuses, courage over fear. Legacy is built when you keep showing up, even when it hurts, even when nobody claps for you, even when you feel like giving up. Because here's the truth, the next generation is watching. They don't listen to what you say, they watch what you do. And if you keep complaining, if you keep quitting, if you keep making excuses, that's exactly what they'll inherit. But if you rise, if you fight, if you live with a winner's attitude, they'll inherit your courage, your discipline, your fire. So the question is this, what are you leaving behind? Are you passing down fear or faith? Excuses or excellence? Complaints or courage? Poverty thinking or a millionaire mindset? Rafael made his choice. He chose to stop the cycle. He chose to be the one who breaks chains, who sets a new standard, who refuses to let the future look like the past. And you can make the same choice. This is your moment. This is your time. The story doesn't have to end where it started. You are not bound by your past, by your family history, by your circumstances. You have the power to decide, right now, that your life will be different, that your family will be different, that your story will inspire, not expire. But you've got to fight for it. Every day. With discipline. With passion. With a fire that refuses to be put out. So hear me, this isn't about being rich. This isn't about fame. This isn't about success for success's sake. This is about becoming the kind of person who can't be ignored, who can't be forgotten, who leaves a mark so deep that generations rise because you chose to rise. That's legacy. That's the real millionaire mindset. That's the ultimate winner's attitude. And it starts with you. Right here. Right now.